Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 14 in the NFL. We're talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, who's cleaning up all the kind of ugly games, questionable games with unclear line value that none of the other handicappers wanted to touch. Right now, he's going to take San Francisco and Oakland. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, thanks for taking all these tough games, man. This is another one. Oakland off a 52-0 loss. How do you handicap their next game? I don't know. Maybe you do, but I can certainly understand why none of the other handicappers wanted to touch this one. So before we get to it, tell everyone how you do at your website where you're not taking the games that I ask you to take, where you're taking only the games that you feel you have the biggest edges on each week.
Damn good. We measure success by the decade. We measure it by the quarter of the century. We're having another winning year, especially going back to, we had that great preseason. We've been winning in college and pro football from the beginning of the year till now. Had a little bit of a slump a couple weeks ago, but we are out of it the last couple weeks, and we are way ahead in basketball, college, and NBA. Great start. We haven't had any slumps in basketball so far. Joe Duffy's picks at OffshoreInsiders.com.
All right, Joe. Well, here's where we're going to need your, years of handicapping expertise, because Oakland, right, they're an 8-point home underdog. Total is kind of low, 40 or very low, 40.5 or 41. And Oakland, we knew that they weren't as good as they looked in the final score of their win over KC, but then they came back and got crushed, 52-0. So after that kind of a blasting, loss. How do you handicap them here, getting 8 at home against the Niners? The Niners are off a long week, a tough loss on Thanksgiving to Seattle, so that's probably been stinging them. They're probably raring to atone for that. This Sunday, the Niners are also, they've gone under in 4 of their 5 since the bye, but it is a very low total, so you could easily sneak over one way or another. Tricky game, Joe. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is I looked up specifically what you said, that home teams that are coming off of a loss of 45 points or more, and my database goes back to the early 80s, I believe. It's only happened 15 times where the team comes back to play at home, and they are 11-4 against the spread. So this does say the teams in Oakland's situation do bounce back. Now, one of the things, even before I had the sophisticated computer software where I could look anything up, a general rule of thumb that has just stayed to be the truth, that once you get later in the year, and right about now, is when an also-ran is in a spoiler role against a team that is fighting for a playoff spot. The also-ran has been a play. Now, these aren't very, parameters that you can objectively measure as far as, in a database. You can't really put playoff contender. You kind of got to define it. And I actually found that not just late in the year, but anytime you have a team with a winning percentage of 510 to 590, which again means it's a pretty decent team, a playoff level team, but a team that's going to be on the bubble, and they're playing an opponent with a winning percentage of 250 or less, the superior team there is 30, 64, and 4 against the spread. So that says to go against the 49ers. But most importantly, Colin Kaepernick, remember Jim Harbaugh, was it last week or two, where he kept trying to protest and say, you guys don't know what you're talking about. That Colin Kaepernick is a great quarterback. Well, Kaepernick, lately, he's one of those guys who has just regressed. He's become mistake prone. And with the season on the brink here, and Oakland is a team that, where their defense has shown a little bit of potential. I know they're always on the field, so if you look at their points per game statistics, that wouldn't indicate they're a very good defense. But their rushing yards per attempt against, and their passing yards per attempt, Oakland is actually much better than the points per game statistics would indicate. So again, I think the computer agrees with what my memory says, that teams in spoiler situations do very well against teams fighting for playoff spots this time of the year. And it also says that teams that were humiliated in the NFL do bounce back. And think of it this way, as bad as Oakland is, these guys, what's Lou Holtz like to say, or somebody like to say, these guys get paid to play football too. You don't get this far in the NFL without having having the ability to bounce back and just rolling over. And history says that teams do bounce back in a situation like this. So I'm going to have to pick an ugly team again.
Wow.
But Oakland will cover.
You're taking Oakland +8?
Yes.
I don't even know what to say right now, but I feel like I should say something. It just, don't they suck super bad? They're also, the Niners are off of extra rest, so they're off a long week. They've been stewing and focusing and pissed off. It's just, it just seems like Oakland sucks too bad for all the, maybe the problems that San Francisco might be having, however much they might be overrated. It just seems like right now Oakland sucks too bad to be betting on them getting not even double digits.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I quote my performance gap analysis statistics, but I don't always blindly bet them by any stretch of the imagination. My performance gap analysis said go with Oakland last week. I did not. I passed on the game, and the reason was that, Oakland is capable of having a letdown situation. They finally got that win out of the way. They didn't want to go. They didn't want to have the indignity of going 0-16. They're not. And they came out flat. But now that they've been punched in the face, I do expect them to actually bounce back. But you're right. This gets back to what I talk about. Don't pay psychological juice. You're correct.
Right.
You go with Oakland, you lose. It seems to cost you more than, the whatever. If you're a $100 bettor, it's cost you more than the 110. You're smacking yourself in the head. No, don't worry about the psychological juice. Go with the high percentage play. And yes, the percentages here are Oakland.
All right, Joel. Thanks so much for taking this very, very tough game. I certainly wouldn't want to go on record with an opinion on it. Joe Duffy taking Oakland +8. Thanks so much, Joe.
All right, thank you, Peter.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.